welcome to this video. Today, for the first time, we're working with the form of an ibex or buffalo sculpture, an ancient motif that has been widely used throughout history. In Iran, my home country, you can find countless variations of this design in historical artifacts. Let's create our own version. First, it's important to break down the overall shape into separate components and build them individually. This is the method I personally use. I start by simplifying the body of the buffalo into two hollow hemispheres and a cylinder, which will serve as the connector between them. So, we begin by making two hollow spheres and a cylinder. These pieces will later be joined together to form the main structure. Keep this in mind. The front hemisphere where the head of the ibex or buffalo will be attached should have a teardrop shape. However, this largely depends on the form you envision for your sculpture. Once you have crafted these three main forms, carefully score the surfaces where they will connect, just as you see in the video. Then, attach them precisely to create the overall structure. Pay close attention to the connections. To ensure a natural and visually appealing final form, the cylindrical section that joins the front and back of the body should have a subtle curve. This will create a seamless transition, making it look as if the shapes organically emerged from one another. After securing all the connections and refining the overall shape, you'll have a unified form. At this stage, use a cutting wire to slice the sculpture in half. This step is essential for hollowing out the interior. Essentially, we first build the sculpture as a solid form, then cut it open and begin carefully hollowing it out using appropriate tools. Be mindful of maintaining an even wall thickness throughout the body. Consistency and thickness is crucial for both aesthetics and structural integrity. Repeat this process for both halves of the sculpture. Then, score the edges where the pieces were cut and reattach them precisely at the same seam using slip, a mixture of clay and water that acts as an adhesive. Since we are only accessing the piece from the outside, ensure you use a generous amount of slip to create a strong bond. Now that we have rejoined the two halves of the sculpture, it's crucial to secure the seam properly. Pay special attention to the joint line, where the two pieces meet. Using a serrated rib or a scoring tool, thoroughly score this seam. Be sure to make deep and even marks, as this ensures a strong bond and prevents any trapped air pockets. If air remains inside, it could cause cracks or even structural failure during the drying process. After scoring, apply slip generously along the seam. Then use a smooth rib to blend and refine the surface, restoring the form to its original seamless appearance. Once this step is complete, we move on to the final details, adding the mouth, eyes, and the distinctive horns of the ibex. This can be done easily using coils of clay, which allow for controlled shaping and smooth attachment. All of these steps will be demonstrated in the next part of the video. I hope you enjoy the process and feel inspired to create one of these beautiful sculptures for yourself. One important thing to remember: since this sculpture is hollow, it must have at least 1 or 2 small ventilation holes. These allow air to circulate inside, ensuring even drying and preventing cracks from forming. In my design, I place one hole at the base of the sculpture and another inside the mouth. You can easily create these openings using specialized tools, as shown in the video. The key is to make clean and precise cuts. I've chosen these locations because they not only serve a functional purpose, but also enhance the overall aesthetics of the piece. The holes remain subtle and blend naturally into the design while adding to its visual appeal. Finally, one of the most important steps in creating this sculpture is the finishing process, smoothing and refining the surface. I use a combination of metal ribs and rasps to achieve the texture I want. You can continue refining your piece as much as you like until you're satisfied with its appearance. This step should be done when the clay has reached the leather-hard stage, firm but not completely dry. If the clay is still too wet and pliable, attempting to smooth it may distort the form. So, be sure to wait until your piece has lost enough moisture before working on the surface details. Once your sculpture is fully refined and all finishing touches are complete, allow it to dry completely. After drying, you can apply slip or glaze if desired, and then fire it in the kiln. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe for more content.